The video you're about to watch is a speech that I gave at the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors Bestseller Summit. It happened in Times Square that year. This is a convention where lots of best-selling authors get together from all around the world. People like Jack Canfield and Ron LeGrand and Lee Steinberg and Michael Gerber. And I was the least famous person there by far. They have an award ceremony and a conference, and a lot of speakers come. That year I was asked to speak about the work that I'd done in the book Win. The book Win, my work focuses on what I call the QuickShow Story. The QuickShow Story was two very important business lessons. One of the lessons is that sometimes the dumbest question is the smartest question. The question that's not asked, or the question that hardly anybody bothers to ask, winds up to be the smartest question, the question that really winds up taking you in a different direction. And the second point about the QuickShow Story was how to create a product that addresses a particular business niche and do so pretty quickly. So this is a very prestigious thing for me to be asked to speak at their annual event. And after that, somebody who was in the audience was a representative from Glazer Kennedy, Bill Glazer and Dan Kennedy, two famous marketeers. So they have an event that they call the Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle, also known as GKIC. And they said, hey, we really liked the speech that you did. Would you give this same speech at the upcoming GKIC meeting? And it was a very prestigious meeting. I was very flattered to be asked to do that. So I said, sure, I'll do that. And so I gave that speech. It was in the downtown Orlando area, and Stephen Placey was in the audience. And Steve Placey runs Rock Your Business, and he has an annual event. And he says, hey, I really liked the content of the speech you gave. Would you give this speech at the upcoming Rock Your Business trade show event? And again, I was very flattered to be asked, so I graciously agreed to do that. And so like I say, my work in the book Win and the QuickShow Story, I think, is an important business story. And since I had been invited to speak on the same topic 3 times in the past, I thought it was worthwhile to put it up on the internet. So here it is. Brace yourself. In a speech that I gave at the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors Bestseller Summit. I'm not Nick Nanton. I'm not Conan O'Brien, the late night talk show host. I am William Benner, President and CTO of Pangolin Laser Systems. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something that I call niching, which I'm going to define as making more money by finding a new niche market for the things you already do. Now, since I said making more money, let's talk about some of the classic ways that we would be making more money, looking for more money out of our businesses. One way is that we can increase our marketing efforts. I'm going to assume that everybody is doing that and already done that to the best of their ability. They're doing that as well as they know how to do that. And also talk about where that's gotten us and another company. You can make an entirely new product, and this is what my company's been doing for the last 25 years. I think we're pretty successful at it, but when you're making something entirely new, there's a lot of risk involved. You get halfway through the project and you find pieces don't really fit together. You have to hire a consultant that turns out that he can't do it in the time he said he could, or it turns out to just go crazy halfway through the project. So, so there's a lot of risk with making things entirely new, and this is what we've done historically. Well, what I'm going to be talking about with you today is modifying your existing product to suit the needs of other niche clienteles, preferably one that's not being served by anybody currently. And this is a lower risk scenario than creating something completely new. So, everybody's looking for an easy button, and I got 4 easy steps here for this presentation. The first step is examine the products you already make. The second step is identify a new potential market for the stuff you already do. The third step, modify your existing products so that it can meet those niche. And the fourth step, make more money. That's the fun part. So I brought some examples, and Nick said, don't turn this into a presentation of you trying to sell your company. So the examples I have are from my observation of how other companies have applied this principle, and maybe just kind of give you some food for thought. We'll take a look at this company here, Volkswagen. We all know this company, although this is not a company that's really on the top of our mind awareness. If I were to give you a piece of paper and pencil and say, okay, write down the top 10 car manufacturers will come to mind, we'd be like, okay, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Lexus. You know, VW might not even be on the top 10. Well, let's find out why and what they could do about it. Well, this is the cars they were making in the 80s. Remember this, Volkswagen Rabbit? My friend had one of these, drove it to UCF every day. So this is what they looked like in the 1980s. Volkswagen in the 1990s. Kind of similar, a little bit more rounded, more stylish. This is a Volkswagen Golf. And so, you know, this is where Volkswagen was. Well, if they wanted to make more money, what did they do? Well, they did my step number one of trying to increase their marketing efforts, and what did they come up with? Fahrvergnügen. Y'all remember this one? The joy of driving. Worked wonderfully for them, didn't it? No. Not. So in 1999, Volkswagen came out with this car, right? So now this is a true niche vehicle. My wife would not drive this car. Sure, I mean, if there was a medical emergency or a fire or something like that, I'm sure she'd get in the thing just to get out of the way. But aside from unnatural disasters, you're not going to get her anywhere near this car, right? But my friend Patrick Murphy drove one of these cars for 10 years and loved it, right? Now, let's take a look at some of the aspects of this. This car was so successful, as many of you know, people were on a waiting list for a year just to get this car. And in fact, because of that, people routinely paid higher than the U.S. suggested retail price just to get priority positions within that waiting list. This is a true niche because people who drove the Beetle were not the same people who drove a Volkswagen Golf and vice versa. And so thus it allowed VW to access a truly new clientele, and not only that, but introduce the term punch buggy to a whole new generation, right? So now let's take a look at this. The Golf versus the Beetle. It's actually the same chassis. Many of the same components that were used in the Golf were used in the Beetle. So this is a low-risk way for VW to reach an entirely new niche. All they did was basically put a different shell around it. So to make more money, VW didn't get into an entirely new business. They didn't invent a new line of sewing machines. What they did is they kept doing what they'd always done. They took an existing design, modified it, and they were able to reach an entirely new clientele. And because of the uniqueness of that car, it was a clientele that had not been served by anybody up till that point. So let's talk about another guy here. This is Mitch's friend, Dave Ramsey. We all might know Dave Ramsey's philosophy is cheese moved. Got to find more cheese, right? So what's Dave going to do to find more cheese? Where's he going to look? Teens. Dave has created a series of financial products for teens, right? Now, just like I did an A-B comparison of the Volkswagen Golf and the Volkswagen Beetle, let's take a look at these two. Here's his, on the left we have his products for adults, Financial Peace University. On the right we have his products for teens, Financial Peace, right? Now, the interesting thing about this is, think about this. The seven secrets of highly successful people are the same 7 secrets, no matter how old or how young those successful people are, right? What Dave's going to do, no matter who you are, whether you're an adult or whether you're a teenager, we all need to do the same things. We all need to get on a budget. We all need to save. We all need to invest. We all need to spend less money than we take in, a concept Congress can't grasp, right? We all need to do that. So this is what Dave's doing now. And what he said is Q2, everything kind of came right back up. He found new cheese. So what did Dave do? Did he open up a series of new fast food restaurants? No. He kept doing what he has always done for the last 20 years. He took his existing curriculum, modified it for a new clientele that had not been served up to that point by anyone. So I'll tell you a little bit about my company and what we do and how we've used Nishan and the results of that. My company is Pangolin Laser Systems. We are the world leader in the field of software used to create professional laser shows. Our clients, as Nick said, are Disney, SeaWorld, Universal Studios, Six Flags, big concerts like Pink Floyd, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Usher, Jennifer Lopez, major sports franchises like the Philadelphia Eagles, and even the midterm game of the Super Bowl, the halftime show. Our software controlled that show. So these are our clients. We are the biggest and the best in this business. So, you know, having an ego as big as Ted's probably. Yeah, well, maybe half as big as Ted's. So we take what we do, and this is to a trade show in Shanghai, right? And so I've got a couple of pictures of our trade show booth here. Here you can see it. Here you can kind of get an idea that just this section of the trade show booth was about as big as this room. And there was another room about as big as this room where we actually did the shows. These shows were the most beautiful laser shows you've ever seen in your entire life because we have the world's best laser show creators creating the shows that runs on our software. So at this particular trade show, this is what everyone else's booth looked like. Now in New York City, this thing might actually be condemned. If you take a look at it, things are falling off and stuff like that. I'd be afraid to stand under that thing, right? Well, this is a 4-day trade show, and about the second day of the trade show, I began to feel like that we were at a transportation trade show, and we were the Mercedes-Benz, and we have heated seats and heated mirrors and active suspension, and everyone else is selling this. The problem was, at this trade show, when you say the word transportation, this is what they're thinking of, right? So it became clear to me, especially after this guy comes up to us. Well, no, not this guy, not Rob Schneider, but a guy looked just like this. And he came up to me and he said one thing. He said, "Will it do quick text?" Just like that. Quick text, right? So now our software is made for professionals. It requires training to do anything. You know, it's like a finely tuned automobile. You just can't get in and start driving. So quick text, no, I'm sorry, it won't do quick text. So he walked away. And, you know, but again, I had that feeling that there was this whole trade show full of people that we weren't serving. And he asked this question, well, do quick text. So I went back to to the hotel room that night, a broken man, beaten by this man, Rob Schneider. And I said to myself, you know, we've got this whole audience out there that we don't have a product for. We need to really take what we already do and just kind of switch it around. And so what we did is we developed this product here we call QuickShow. And it's based on the concept of doing everything quickly. And at the bottom left, we have an answer for Rob Schneider. Quick text. In fact, everything you can do with this program is quick. You could quickly trace bitmaps and turn it into a laser show. We call it Quick Trace. You could take Adobe Flash images that run on a website, turn it into a laser show. We call it Quick Flash. Everything about this is quick. Now, this is a true niche market because our professional level software can't be used by the Rob Schneiders of the world. And the QuickShow software really perhaps doesn't have the power that the Disney and Pink Floyd of the world needs. So let's talk about this. Laser Show Designer QuickShow did not exist in 2009. In 2010, this represents 25% of our revenue. We've run out of stock 11 out of the last 12 months. And each time we ran out of stock the month, we said, OK, we're going to double our production. We're going to double our production. We've doubled our production every single month, and we're still running out of stock. This is geometric growth. It's so successful that we have rethought the way that we craft and deliver software. And so now at that Shanghai trade show the next year, we were ready. So to make more money, we didn't get into an entirely new business. We didn't open up a new chain of fast food restaurants either. We kept doing what we'd always done. We took our existing software, modified it heavily, and we were able to reach an entirely new clientele, a clientele that nobody had been existing up till then. So since this is a presentation and it's not a case study, I want to impart on you some valuable advice. And so part of this element is where to look for these new niches. Well, there's the obvious. Where we went was lower cost markets and lower IQ clients. These may go hand in hand. We've all got our Rob Schneiders, don't we? Other cultures or ethnicities. Teens. This is where Dave Ramsey went, right? It could work for anyone. Pets. We'll come back to this one. And higher, yes, higher cost markets. Anyone recognize this kid? Justin Bieber. He's the latest teenage heartthrob sensation that's rocking the nation, right? So this kid sells CDs for $10 and you can download a song on iTunes for $1. Well, my intellectual property attorney, who also happens to be in New York, says that Justin Bieber makes a whopping 10 cents off of each one of those downloads, right? Not much money. Well, imagine if Justin Bieber is able to actually raise his price and make more money. Anyone watch the reality TV shows? This MTV Super Sweet 16? It's kind of like a lifestyles of the rich and famous, but for kids. These people put on outlandish parties for their 16th birthday party. And here, pictured is P. Diddy, who had he's so out there, he had a party for his 13-year-old. So anyway, there are people out there who would be willing to pay Justin Bieber $100,000 to do a limited time event, a private concert, right? So this is, a way, an idea where you can take your price, make them higher, but for a more focused clientele, and actually wind up making more money. And that's a lot better of a deal for Justin Bieber than making $10 on a CD or 10 cents on a download, right? So I start thinking to myself, well, this is a pretty powerful concept, but can it work for everybody? Who won't this work for? Heart surgeons. But somehow I don't think heart surgeons are quite going to be in this room anyway. Dentists. Although if you're a dentist and you've got a lot of time on your hands and you're looking for a new niche trying to expand your market, maybe you could become a dentist for pets. Yeah. Ace Ventura, the pet detective, right? Now I put this slide in there not only because I think it's a funny slide, but because of the caption. He's the best there is. Actually, he's the only one there is, right? So, well, the only one there is. If you're looking for a car that looks like this, you've got one choice. This is the only one there is. If you're looking for a financial program for teens, as far as I know, this is the only one there is. If you're looking for laser software that Rob Schneiders of the world can use, this is the only one there is. And when you've got something where you've got the only one there is, that's called a monopoly. Something we all should aspire to, right? So I have a challenge for all of you. My challenge is to examine the products you already make. Think about different niches that you can access, people who aren't currently being served by anyone. Modify your products to suit those new niches and make more money. So that's my presentation. Hope you like it.